studio. Nope, it's Faithletic, the podcast. I don't know why I did that. I'm thinking about it. It's been 2 years.
2 years.
Wow. I still do it.
Oh.
Just disregard that first part.
Let's start over.
Golly.
All right. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we're live and in color. It's Faithletic, the podcast, on a Wednesday night. From parts unknown, I'm Coach, and I'm with
KC
and
the Gunslinger,
and we are
Faithletic, the podcast.
All right, got it.
Hey.
Sorry, everybody. I don't know. I mean, I was just sitting there
That
thinking
was awesome.
about it.
Hey, it's okay.
That's crazy.
It's okay.
It's crazy. Talking of crazy, it's a crazy week.
Yeah, it is.
And we'd like to welcome in Superfan 1 and Superfan 2, DLC, David Larry Carroll, and
Dan
D.
is
Frank.
on a roll tonight.
I'm telling you, I made him quit while I'm ahead.
Listen, I get it.
Just shut this thing off.
I get it.
How about them Braves? No kidding. First time in 26 years, wins the World Series.
You know
Listen, that
Took
was
down Kyle's favorite team, the Houston Astros.
Ugh, gross. Put them up there with the Oakland Raiders, man.
What?
Oh, yeah, I can't. Yeah. Well, Oakland, I can't. Oh, I'm sorry, they're Las Vegas now.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Yes,
Yeah,
my
there
bad.
is no Oakland.
Yeah. So, how we doing?
We're good. We got a lot of things
There
to talk
is.
about today.
Listen.
This is the most.
We could have a 3-hour show tonight.
Topic-infested
Easily.
show today.
Yeah, usually.
This may go an hour and a half.
Yeah. Also, my voice is in and out today, so bear with me. I was yelling at kids all day.
Puberty.
Yeah. Not yelling at them. Like, I was. There are days where you just feel like you're
You were
yelling.
coaching
I was
loudly?
educating. No, I don't yell at because I coach girls basketball, and
They don't require
being a
yelling.
dude, I don't think it's necessary for me to do that. Just my coaching philosophy with girls is that I don't think I should. Anyway, that's just a little bit inside baseball as far as my coaching goes. But yeah, I've been yelling at kids all day. We've been talking about the Supreme Court, having a fun time engaging in actual discussion. But I'm tired. I'm here, and my voice is tired. So. Anyway, I'll stop talking.
Just a couple of things we're going to try to get on the podcast tonight, and I just want to make sure I want to put them out there publicly so we don't forget. Not that anybody will remind us, but
right.
I kind of added one too. So we want to talk about the NCAA playoffs, and I think when we do that, we can
wait. Playoffs? Sorry, had to be done.
Are you
Continue.
done? Can I go down? NCAA playoffs, I think we need to talk about the NCAA, and we get a two-hitter on this one because they have just lost their minds in the last day or so. We're going to talk about that. I think we need to discuss the day of the backup quarterback, which takes place on Sunday.
Holy
Yes.
smokes, what a day.
Aaron Rodgers, who now is out in Sunday's big game against the Kansas City Chiefs.
The shit.
I have thoughts about all of that. Like a
And
lot of it.
Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know if you've heard the news today, but the Cleveland Browns are seriously considering putting him on the shelf and eating a spot on the 53-man roster. Just if they're going to have to pay him, they might as well pay him not to play for somebody else instead of paying him to play for somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested in this. This is a jam-packed show.
I mean, and then we got games of the week coming up.
Games of the week.
Oh, let's just not review last week's.
Yeah, we'll
save time there.
Yeah, we'll hit it quick.
Sure.
We'll hit it quick. It'll be a quick hitter.
Okay. Whew.
So where do we want to start? NCAA? You think that?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best
sure.
place to start.
Let's go with it.
First of all, let's go with the ruling that came down today. I'm going to let Kyle take part 2 of this. I'm going to take part 1,
so,
which is, let me get started here.
Yeah,
hold
sorry.
on. Just hold on a minute. Why is everybody so anxious to get going
Because there's
today?
so much to talk about.
Hold your roll.
You're the driver, and we got excited.
I need to go Pat McAfee on you here? Or what?
No,
Okay.
no, oh no.
Just trying to do some backseat driving over here.
So 2 parts of this. Number 1, and obviously because I'm dressed the part today, Oklahoma State literally gets hosed today in this ruling that now their appeal for being suspended in postseason, they lose scholarships, and they're on probation for 3 years, was denied by the NCAA. And I want to remind everybody this. This happened 4 years ago. The coach that did it has been fired.
Yes.
They proved that the head coach wasn't involved. There was no lack of institutional control. There was no player that played that was eligible that would have affected any games. This has nothing to do with what the regime is today.
Exactly.
And the fact is, it had no bearing on going forward. Nothing. Zero, zada.
None.
And the NCAA, and then they initially approved what their own sanctions were, and then they turn around and said, "Oh no, we're that's not good enough for us." So this happened 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
Well,
I don't understand how Brad Underwood squeaks away squeaky clean
Yes,
from
and
this.
he's coaching in Illinois. If anybody
right.
punish
He
him,
knew exactly what he did, and he bailed.
yes.
Like, that doesn't get talked about him enough, that he obviously knew something
Yep.
was fishy in the state of Denmark.
Yep.
And
Is Denmark a
bailed.
state?
What's that?
Is Denmark a state?
That's an old Shakespeare. Saying.
I thought it was,
It was something
the
is-
state of Delaware. But
No, something is fishy in the state of Denmark. Anyway, so yeah, I don't understand how Brad Underwood does not, that he gets away scot-free in this whole situation. How come he's not suspended?
Did you hear what Mike
It's
Boynton
his
said
fault.
today?
No, what did he say?
They're dancing in the streets in Indianapolis today.
Of course they are. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, because they're in charge up there of, like,
Do you know how many rulings NCAA has made against Oklahoma State in the last 5
Oh,
years?
my
it's
gosh.
as far as the basketball program goes, it makes near zero sense. And meanwhile, Kansas, who is corrupt as all get out, they get nothing.
Yeah.
They get absolutely
Yeah.
nothing because they're Kansas and
Yeah,
Oklahoma State.
That's my whole point.
They're making an example of
Yep.
why do they make an example
They're
of
expendable.
small schools?
They're expendable.
Yeah, it makes
well, and
no sense.
and they are less likely to have a solid team to come back after the NCAA with.
Well, now,
You know, it's small market.
I mean, limiting scholarships for the next 3 years is, I'm sorry, going to diminish your program success.
Oh, it is, and it's going to
And that's
hurt
the
it
whole
for
purpose.
years and years to come.
Whole purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like,
Is this over?
no, this is the NCAA.
No,
going,
I mean, is this over for Oklahoma? And what I mean by that is,
No.
Oklahoma State have any?
No, this is not the death penalty for them.
No,
It's
no. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying, is this finalized? That there's no way there's anything they can do about this? Is it done? Is the
Yeah, I
punishment
think
done?
so.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, because I think we could ask that question last week or last year.
Yeah.
Is it done? Like, because they appealed, got to play in the tournament, and
punishment now?
Yeah, like here's the thing. Here's your conspiracy.
Yep.
Is they had Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
They knew the money that he
Yeah.
could generate in the NCAA tournament. They held off, waited till the beginning of the season, and now, yes, it's final. That's just my opinion of what happened. And then it just shows how incredibly corrupt the NCAA is, and it's so infuriating at times. And I heard from friends today, and this is literally just from Adam, my friend Adam, that usually is on the show.
Yep.
He said something about there's the vacating of Baylor's
And he's a
men's
Baylor
championship.
guy.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a joke or something.
So you haven't
But
proved that yet?
I haven't proved it. Can't even find any news sources on it. So that could totally be something I thought was something else. But that on top of what happened yesterday with the bowl, with the I almost called it the bowl championship series.
Yeah, the
College
rankings.
football playoff.
Oh,
rankings.
and that's
Yeah.
part 2
Yeah.
of our
Good
NCAA.
Lord.
I was trying to smooth transition, and then
You
I
did pretty
can't
good.
talk.
Well,
yeah.
you did the best you could.
I'm trying today.
Do the best you can
Yes,
with what you
what
have
you
to
got.
work with.
Yeah, and you want to talk about just how even more corrupt that this is just a money grab at this point for these NCAA fat cats.
Huh. Really?
Yeah, and I never used to believe
You're
that.
kidding.
I never used to believe that until we realized that ESPN's in charge. There's a corporation that they are
Yeah.
trying to make money off of this
Yeah,
playoff.
sure they are.
So you have a bunch of 13 old whites in a room that are making these decisions that is so incredibly frustrating at this point that I can't I think Joe Klatt said it best. It's like this is a travesty right now for the sport of college football.
Yeah.
What's happening?
But do you think this is NCAA and the ESPN's way of saying, I told you we need a playoff, or an 8-team or 16-team playoff system? Do you think that has something to do with it?
Maybe.
That would
I
be
think
nice.
Maybe, yeah, that'd be nice. I think
Because I don't think 8 does it. I'm sorry. 8
no,
doesn't do it.
12 actually
I think it's 16.
Okay, it was 100% a joke, Adam said. So thanks a lot, Adam. Thanks a lot,
Come
friends.
on, man. Get your facts straight.
No, it was in the during the school day. Sometimes I get bits and pieces of text messages and group chats, and that was totally my fault. So my bad.
I do that sometimes at work.
Yeah,
when I get a
so I was like,
text
wait,
from
I've been
somebody.
looking all day. I'm like, I can't find this information, and I was like,
It's almost like the April
Okay.
Fool's joke we
Yes.
did that one time.
oh, that was a good one. Yep. So thanks, Adam. Or I think that was my friend Chris. Anyway, good. That would be sad because that was a good basketball team. So good for them. It's still not.
You had me
vacated.
rolling that it was all Big 12 thing.
Oh yeah, really? Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but I think
Let's pull those rankings
pull
up.
those rankings up because there's so much to go. There's so much to unfold and unpack there.
I just think, I know it's the first one, and it's kind of like somebody was saying today, look, relax.
Yeah.
It's still early, but it's kind of making a
Yeah,
statement.
but do they need to be so idiotic right off the bat?
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
know?
I mean, that's a good question. It's like, okay, you want part of this is generating conversation and get eyeballs on the sport for the rest of the year. I understand that, but you don't have to do it in this way. And also to just blatantly show your favoritism for Alabama, as we talk about it in a second, is absolutely just infuriating to me.
Playoffs.
Playoffs. There we go.
All right. What? I still don't have it.
You did it. You did the exact Jim Mora there, by the way.
Was that good?
Yeah. So
Okay,
a couple of
Georgia.
things that are happening. Wisconsin and Mississippi State with 3 losses to pad the losses of their top teams, and UTSA is 8-0 and not ranked, as well as SMU and Houston, both with 1 loss. So that's exactly what I was getting at, Adam, right there. For sure. It's like I want to talk about that. That they're making these teams are at the top.
They're making their losses significant.
They're making their losses more significant by putting Mississippi State up there. That immediately was like, huh?
What?
And Wisconsin's terrible. Like, they're not good either. And for them to even be ranked is a joke. And so it makes Michigan State look better and Ohio State look better if they put Wisconsin in there.
So what do you, in your opinion, is the 4 teams are pushing?
Wait, that they're pushing?
The
Or
NCAA
The agenda,
Yeah.
definitely
well, Alabama.
Alabama,
Alabama and Georgia. right?
Alabama, Georgia, and
Yep.
Michigan State and Ohio State.
You think those are the 4 teams?
Yeah, they're trying to get a
But they
big.
got Oregon in there too.
Yeah, but they're trying to get a Big 10, Big 12. So Oregon's there.
Yeah.
So when they inevitably lose, they can put Ohio State in the final
Because
four.
they got
because
beat
they
by
got beat by Oregon.
Yeah, I
It's
see.
totally
So-
they're trying to pad that loss. There's no way that Oregon belongs in there. They're trying to make it look better for Oregon. For Ohio State. Look at us. Look at Ohio State. It is so bad. And Derek Franklin said ESPN is a part of the deep state. And I don't think I disagree sometimes. So yeah, that's what
does.
I'm just riled up about. Like in Michigan State, looking at the eye test, like they are trying to do whatever it takes to get 2 Big 10 teams and 2 SEC teams in
they're gonna
college
get it.
football playoff.
They're going to get it.
Yep.
Yes.
Because even Alabama. So let me ask you this: Alabama's got 1 loss, right?
Right.
No team has got 2 losses has ever made that Final Four. If Alabama loses
in
the championship game
to Georgia.
to Georgia, they still get in.
Yeah. I personally think so.
I do too.
Yeah, and I think they're also trying to pad the losses, or they're trying to make Oklahoma still hang around.
Yeah.
Hanging out number 8. That you look at their eyeball test and you're watching Oklahoma games and they're not a top 8 team this year. They've just gotten lucky in a lot of spots. I don't understand what the eyeball test is anymore. And I think I'm so sick and tired of hearing that. They have, Adam throws out there, they have better losses.
They're a top 8 team now.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's a better.
I get it. They probably are.
As much as I hate to admit that, they are.
Yes, but
if Oklahoma State ends up beating them, there's no way they get it there.
But I still don't think Oklahoma even beats half the teams in the SEC now.
Somebody made a statement today that if Oklahoma State runs the table, they would get in the Final Four. I don't believe that.
Nope.
Not
that was proved years ago.
Yes.
With the old, let's just have Alabama and LSU 7-3 again. I know, but
Yeah.
It still remains the same.
Yeah.
I'm with you, and I cannot. I've said this 100 times on this show. It feels like that I would rather have the BCS than this, and there's so much controversy within that. Why not have both? Because at least it took a lot of the personal bias
I agree
out.
with that.
Why can't you have a BCS, a bowl championship series?
But let me tell you, Kyle.
Yeah.
You are right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they manipulated that 2011 poll to
100%.
rank the people that Alabama and the LSU played that season higher in the AP and the coaches poll, so that they could surpass Oklahoma State. So everybody Oklahoma State played got ranked lower, and then so at the end when they tallied the results, they had a higher score.
Sure, but but schools like we talked about the Boise States because they mattered back in the day.
Yeah.
They mattered back. The Cincinnati story, the UCF story a couple of years ago would have mattered, and it doesn't matter anymore because you aren't even eligible to make the college football playoff at this point.
Who did Baylor beat?
If you're a school like Cincinnati. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no way they'll put Cincinnati.
They showed right there how little they care about mid-majors by placing them fourth, by placing them sixth.
Yeah,
you showed your true colors in that they
beat Notre Dame.
Yes,
but if Notre Dame
would have won that
game.
They'd be in the top 4.
Right. Yes,
right. And I don't get it. I don't understand.
Baylor's right behind Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State beat Baylor, but who has so
they
you're
beat
not giving
Texas.
Oklahoma State hardly any credibility for beating Texas or Baylor. None.
No.
Theoretically, Oklahoma State. I don't know if they deserve to be higher than 11th, but they should be higher than 11th based on because you're giving Baylor credit and you're giving credit for beating Texas.
Right.
Although Texas isn't in the top 25, so
and I think it's unfortunate is because Cincinnati didn't have enough style points. You didn't beat them by much.
Who cares?
I mean, at the end of the day, like the win. I am so frustrated by this. Like I don't even know what to say.
So who's lining these guys' pockets? Like it's got to all come down to a money thing, right? Because they're not just sitting in there and going, "Well, I'm friends with Freddie over there and Jim Bob and this, that, and the other, so I'm going to keep making Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. They're going to always be in it." There has to be a money trail here somewhere.
Oh yeah,
you know,
follow the money, see where it goes.
It's got to be, and I hope that there is some journalist out there that is investigating and gonna break some big story eventually.
Yeah, like I don't understand why Baylor beat Iowa State and they beat BYU. They did beat BYU.
Okay, all right.
Joel Klatt. I think this was summed up the best kind of take that I heard in the past couple days was this. And I think Joel Klatt is probably one of the sharpest college football minds out there. I think he's as good as anybody. He's a level-headed guy. For the record, I'm in favor of any measure that would dilute or strip power from the ridiculous 13-person committee. The structure of the college football player has done more harm to our great sport than good. My hope is expansion will fix some of the issues, and I won't hold my breath. Like, I think I'm exactly with him. It's hurt the sport. I don't care about as much as college football much anymore.
No.
Because the NFL has 12 teams. It's more exciting and engaging to me right now because I know Iowa doesn't stand a chance at making that top 4. So I'm done. In the postseason, bowl games don't matter to me. Like, I know there's a lot of people that are like, I love college football bowl season. I'm like, these games are jokes at this point because now you have kids that are opting out with good reason. I understand they don't even play in the games anymore. I understand why they do it. But for me, as the viewer, I'm not seeing the best team even being put on the football field anymore for these games that don't matter. So it's hard for me to get excited about bowl season. And I know my top 4, my Iowa's chances of trying to make the top 4 are
slim to none.
Slim to none every year. So
you'd basically have to have 3 lost Georgia and Alabama, and then run the table, of course, in Iowa, and you'd have to have about 10 other things go right.
Right.
And then they'd be in there.
Where is Iowa?
Oh, they're 22nd now. I'm just saying.
Chance. Yeah.
And that was more of just like a year-to-year situation. It's not necessarily
Iowa's in that
privy
lower
to
tier.
this.
They're in the same.
Yeah, they're in the same boat. It's like, I looked at it like when they announced the college football playoff back in June. I was just curious, or maybe expanding to 12.
Yeah.
I looked back and I was curious where Iowa would fit in, how many of these top 12s they would have made in the past 15 years.
Yeah.
If they were able, if this was a 12-team playoff, and at least they would make it 4 times.
They would have.
They would have made it 4 times, and so they have these years where Oklahoma State has and stuff like that. That it's like, man, we really showed out. Yeah, we showed out this year.
Yeah.
Our seniors came out and really came together as a team.
That's why it needs to expand. It gives everybody the opportunity.
You don't have that hope anymore that my team is going to show out every 4 years and make a run. So,
well, they want the expansion. There's no doubt they want that.
We'll see you, DLC. Be well.
Oh yeah, you taking off already?
Yep.
Man, you need more time.
Derek's asking, why does Pitt get no love in the Coaches Bowl and AP pool? Because they're in the ACC.
Yeah, that's part of it.
And the ACC
they're
this year,
second-tier team,
because Clemson is down this year, the ACC is getting as much love as the AAC.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. With Clemson being irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They killed the whole conference.
And Florida State.
Yeah. They
used to be the class of the league, and now it's Clemson, and now Clemson's down. Florida State is down. Virginia is down. I mean, you just don't.
And now Pitt is like Pitt's
good. Pitt's a good ball club.
They are a good ball club. They are good. Their quarterback's good.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. I don't get excited about. And even Jessica's like, my wife is like, why do you? She's like, don't you care about college football as much anymore? I'm like, because it's a dead end. It's all a dead end. It leads to nowhere for your school.
Do you know what I get? Why are you even watching it? You know it's fixed. That's what I get. From my wife.
The Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
You know how it's going to turn out. You know the Cowboys are not, they're going to get rookie dude in the end, so why you watch? I don't know. There's hope, I guess. There's that glimmer of hope. Yeah. So, anyway.
Wake Forest also.
Oh, yeah. They're undefeated.
The yep. They're 8-0.
Do they got a shot? Absolutely not. They can run the table. They have no shot.
No.
I mean, worse shot than
as much as Cincinnati does.
They probably have more clout than Cincinnati because they're in the ACC.
Maybe, but it's a down Clemson year, so.
Could you see how much they would do? Let's say it was headed that direction. If you did it based off of fairness. And let's say Wake Forest had to play Cincinnati in the national championship.
Oh, my gosh.
There would be the ESPN.
How ESPN would fall over dead.
You ever seen that commercial of the Buffalo Wild Wings where they're trying to keep the games into overtime
yes.
or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
That's what the ESPN would be doing.
Yeah. Where's the Bama button?
Yeah.
Can I get that?
Yeah.
They've been pressing that button hard for the past. And it's with good reason because those kids are going to the NFL.
Yeah.
I understand that.
And they're going to the NFL and producing as well.
it is funny how many NFL players lately. I'm like, oh, that guy's from Alabama. Oh, that guy's from Alabama. That guy's from LSU. Like,
Yeah.
It's crazy
when Coach
anymore.
Meyer said it's like you're playing Alabama every game. Maybe that's what he was talking
no
about.
joke, Urban. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's. I just feel like college football leads to a
Should
dead
they
end.
join
right
the
now.
Big 12. I tell you what, I was going to bring up the Big 12 because what happens when Oklahoma and Texas leave, right? I know we already discussed this a few shows ago, but does the Big 12 then become another AAC?
It's a valid question.
Yes.
Because and that to me is a yes.
And unless like they like D. Frank is kind of saying, unless the Big 12 goes out there and gets some people, the Big 12 will die on the vine.
Well,
I mean, it'll still exist, but it'll always be a second.
Well, it's gonna
tier.
it's gonna equal to what Cincinnati's doing this year.
Exactly.
It's like, can this whoever it is win with style points this year? Like it's probably more equivalent to the ACC right now without Clemson. It's probably the same.
Okay, yeah.
Like that's probably what I'd equate it to in my opinion. But that said, it's like all of that said is this. It's a big headache. It's frustrating, and I don't understand what their hesitation
It's money.
is. But what's their hesitation of putting a 12-team playoff together
I don't think
sooner
there is
rather
any.
than later?
I think they're going to.
That is interesting.
Oh,
but,
sooner?
But
Yeah.
they are
I don't know about
they're
that.
resistant to it still. And I mean, you think wouldn't it just be obvious that it would bring more money in? Like where's the hesitation?
Like is it surrounded by player safety that it's too many games?
No.
Because that's what I think. These kids are going to school for football. And I don't mean to slight those few kids that those a good amount of kids that are getting their education out of it and they're using football to do that. I respect that. But most of these kids are football majors. Like that's their job.
One of the things you could do, which will get a tremendous amount of opposition, is you could eliminate a game out of the season. But if you do that, then you're punishing all the other teams because the revenues they need for those game days in their area. So you're never going to get buy-in with that from the athletic directors. They say, oh, wait, we're going to have one less game, and somebody's going to lose. So that's never going to work out. But you're already playing, 12 games?
Yep, 12 games.
12. If you could cut it back to 11, suppose you could cut it back to 11, and you basically have the room for it.
Yeah.
But the reason I kind of thought up the reason why they're not going to do it as we were. Anyway, I think the answer of why they're not or why they're hesitant to a 12-team playoff is because the playoffs right now are win in advance, right? And so there could be the Cinderella stories where Wake Forest and Cincinnati end up in the final. And when it comes to money, I mean, that would be such a low generating national championship. It would just kill them.
But
so maybe that's why.
But for a national story, like people generally, it feels like root for the underdogs too, and like to see that. I don't know. Adam does bring it's an interesting point, but I'd like to counter it by saying he says this year Cincinnati, BYU, and Houston combined have 2 losses. I don't think the Big 12 drops off as much as you think y'all are saying. I see what you're saying. They're good football programs, but they have nowhere near the name recognition that Texas or OU do.
Nope.
It's not even close.
It is
Not even those 3 combined barely make up one of those schools. Maybe BYU because it has a regional following on the West Coast, but it does not compare to OU or Texas by a long shot and the money that they generate.
Yeah.
Like, they're great football teams this year. They're great basketball teams year to year. But it's just not. It just does not compare to OU and Texas and the name recognition.
Level.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother level. And actually, I was thinking about it again. If you ended up with a Cincinnati Wake Forest final, I don't think you've got as many fans that are willing to pay the
astronomical,
astronomical money to buy those tickets to the
That's not where the
final
money is,
game. Well, I know, but
Yeah.
then they have the
What you're
the
gonna lose
stands are empty.
is
and-
the conglomerate, the corporations who fork the money over for these things to happen
And-
won't be there.
Yeah, because the
'Cause there's
the fans
no interest.
can't be in the stands, and so all that money spent there is just worthless. It's just it's a money thing.
Yeah, it totally is. Like that's and it's as clear to me as ever that those 4 schools that they're trying to get in, they're trying to generate the most money they possibly can, and they're not even hiding it anymore. It's in
Yeah.
plain sight.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I've been
It's-
saying for years.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and you're absolutely right. It's
Yeah.
just people have decided to join your
Yeah,
bandwagon.
I guess so.
Well,
All right,
people have
so-
finally realized he may actually know what he's talking
Well,
about.
I mean, every once in a while I get one right. All right, so let's move on to some more conspiracy theory thinking. So Aaron Rodgers tests positive for COVID-19 today, and he is currently in COVID protocol. So I found something out interesting today. So you do realize that the NFL and the media knew that he was unvaccinated and knew that he wasn't following COVID protocol for an unvaccinated player, and yet they did nothing or said nothing. But now Aaron Rodgers, and you know how much I dislike Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
It's not really his fault.
According to Ian Rappaport, though, he has been going and doing all the
That's what I
COVID
heard.
protocol stuff.
He hasn't been. He's been first of all, if he has to go to press conferences with a mask on, he has to be
He
on the
does.
That's
sidelines
true.
with a
Down
mask
here.
on. He was at a Halloween party without a mask on, if I understood it right.
Yeah.
He
No,
is not following COVID protocol. Now, yes, that part, but it is up to the governing body, the NFL, his team, and all that, to enforce those protocols. And let me tell you how I know that. If I run a company and we have protocols in place, and I openly don't enforce those policies, I'm just as responsible as that
Yeah.
employee is.
Yeah.
So why does, and you already know the answer to this, why does Aaron Rodgers get favoritism when it comes to following protocols and rules?
Okay, so
I don't know. I think he's been following them.
I think it's a good question because I think you're right. I think that there is a little bit of lax because he is
Because he's
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers.
I will agree with that.
Yes.
But definitely it's but it's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
It's Tom
exactly.
Brady
Exactly.
He is the marquee face of the NFL.
behind Tom Brady.
Maybe more so because I think he has more exposure with the commercial. He's got more commercials than Brady does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
By a long
definitely.
shot. And then probably Mahomes might be just a tad bit ahead of Brady, but the 3 most protected players in NFL
Are probably those 3.
those 3, and you could put Peyton Manning in there when he was playing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So 4 most protected players. I mean, they
They
so-
get leniency. They do.
So here is the thing. It's like, and I think you can this. I think we're sensitive in the fact that this can get political a little bit with the way that
This
vaccination
has nothing
has
to
been.
do with politics.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying that this has become a political issue.
Yeah.
And so, right, wrong, or indifferent, it's just the way that it is. And I don't. Me and Josh were talking about it beforehand. It became that way. It should have never happened that way.
No,
and
never.
so now you can't criticize people for having a view one way or another. When me personally, I look at this Aaron Rodgers stuff and I say I have no sympathy for Aaron Rodgers in this moment right here to say,
Oh, I don't have sympathy.
Oh,
yeah,
for him.
neither do
whatsoever. Like, to use it's arrogance to me.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
in this situation of like
I
I'm gonna
completely
He's
use.
doing what he wants to do.
I'm
Just like
an-
I got upset the other day
Yes.
when he said, "I own you." Well, that's just his arrogance saying that.
Yeah,
He should have been fined for that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he should have been. I think he probably should have been fined
You
for that.
fined C.D.
Look-
Lamb for waving at a player,
Bingo,
Now
bingo.
but
that-
you can't fine somebody for disrespecting
that's
an
where
NFL fan.
That's where the leniency comes in.
Mm.
It is.
You're
I mean,
you're proving my point.
No, I know. It It is. The leniency comes in because of
How many
the
fine?
fact
How much fines would CD Lamb have this year so far? $50,000.
Oh, he's got plenty.
All stupid stuff,
Yeah.
too. If you don't get fined.
The whole waving thing. I mean, I hope that he contests
After he got
that.
late hit.
Yeah.
I hope he contests that. You know, but but it's probably not even worth it.
He would have been I think he would have probably came out with the same amount of fine if he'd just gone and speared the guy.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It would have at least got something.
Yeah.
At least you get, like, well, if I'm going to get fined by a golly,
I'm gonna make it worth it. Yeah, worth my time and
what?
my money.
They got fined for $10,000 for waving at somebody?
Are you serious?
That was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
At the end of the game, as a walk-off touchdown, like give the guy his flowers in that moment.
He wasn't teabagging somebody waving at him. I mean,
Yeah.
he was just walking and.
Yeah. Derek Franklin says he needs to retire. No, he does not. He is.
What are you talking about?
Wait,
what's that?
You're talking about Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers needs to
Okay, D.
retire.
Frank, make another statement like that and we'll hide your
Don't
comments.
do
I was
that.
gonna
You can't
say,
do that. Yes,
as much as I dislike Aaron Rodgers, and everybody sitting here next to me knows I can't stand him.
Right.
I'm kind of on his side in this
No,
whole thing.
he has physically hurt me personally.
Yeah.
He's personally attacked my feelings as a Bears fan. So no, I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I love Aaron Rodgers, so.
I know you do.
So he's getting a lot of national aftermath of this Halloween thing, and
that is, oh my gosh! Now, if the Green Bay Packers, if they come down with 10 people having COVID,
they're
that's on them.
That's
and
on
the fact
Aaron.
they already had
that is on Aaron.
Yep.
Plus he wasn't following COVID protocol to begin with. Non-vaccinated players. Yeah.
This looks bad for them.
Look,
right now, anyway.
I got no beef with anybody that doesn't want to be vaccinated. You don't want to be vaccinated, that's fine. But if there's protocols in place and you're making everybody else, comply, why aren't you making, the poster boy of the NFL comply? That's what I'm saying.
It's the Eastern medicine arrogance that of like, I have gained this knowledge in the past year of my life. I went and talked to a guru about this, that, and the other thing. Like, I know better. Like, that's what it seems like to me.
And that I completely agree.
Yes.
Is so arrogant.
Yeah. It's like, I'm like, read this book because I'm smarter than you and like all of that. Like, I can't.
His book club, I don't know.
Pat
McAfee really is the one that pushed that.
I understand that, but it's all like it just seems so arrogant to me.
There's
like,
it's like it almost comes off as you don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
He's
with the little fancy
He's
thumb
almost
rings
like
and the ponytail.
It almost thinks
it
like
was John Wick,
which is cool.
He did very well.
But,
that was a great costume.
But to me, he comes off as like that football fans are stupid. I think that's what he's like.
You.
I'm in this sport. I'm making good money off of my talent, but I'm better than the fans that watch this game. That's what to me it feels like.
And I don't completely disagree with that, but I need more proof before I'll totally agree with it. Like I'm like kind of in the middle on that.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'll admit it if somebody's that I like is doing something arrogant, like, hey, Aaron Rodgers in his holistic therapy or whatever, and then saying I'm immunized. Great use of words there. That was smart. However, because immunized is not the same as vaccinated.
So here's another thought, okay?
I'm interested.
And I'm going to bring pro wrestling into this.
Interesting.
Yes.
So the whole thing has been built around good guy versus bad guy.
Sure.
And there has to be a villain for the interest, okay?
Yeah.
So is there any way the NFL took advantage of this situation and says, we need, because kind of lost a villain with Tom Brady because he's not so much the villain anymore. Did the NFL say, let's make Aaron Rodgers, especially with his little comments at Chicago, and now you've got this whole thing with him not, being arrogant and all the other, is the NFL saying we're going to let this play off and let him be the villain because you need a villain. You need a villain.
I see what you're saying.
That's why the Raiders have always been frowned upon. They're the villain. The
black
Cowboys
and
are
silver.
kind of the villains too.
Yeah.
So think about it.
I don't disagree with what you're saying in its premise. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is that guy because if you step away from the echo chambers of Sports Palace Studios, Aaron Rodgers is still beloved by a lot of people.
Right
Yeah.
now he is.
Yes.
But what I'm telling you is just because he's right now he's getting a little bit of aftermath with all this.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
You know
Does
what?
the NFL say, you know what? Let's let this play out.
You know, we were talking about money quite a bit at the beginning. We're really throughout this show. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the NFL, one of their things with the COVID protocols is if your unvaccinated self causes something that like causes a game to be canceled or it
Lose your paycheck.
hurts. Yeah. Well, you don't just lose your paycheck. You can be on the hook for, I can't remember, they said up to like $17 million or something like that.
That's interesting.
Like they were talking
yeah,
about
you're
if a
right.
game
I remember
had to
that.
be canceled because of what you did, then that would be the total revenue, and so they
If
could
they could
fine you that.
contract trace.
I want to see if Green Bay comes down and gets 10 more guys that were all at the Halloween party all of a sudden are sick, I would be very interested in seeing how much Aaron Rodgers gets fined.
It just seems convenient for this thing to work out in the NFL's favor.
But don't you think right now the villain is more a Baker Mayfield? Maybe
he's one of
not.
them.
Well,
Yeah,
he's not-
geez,
but they're
there's
not
another
playing well.
subject.
yeah,
They're not
There's
playing
another
well. You need to have somebody in the forefront.
yeah.
You had Tom Brady. They won He won 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
He
now-
fits the mold. Now he's having a good time now. He's starting to
He's
relax.
way more likable.
He's
I
more-
love Tom Brady Tampa version.
And see,
Oh, so do I.
I mean, I would kind of agree, maybe a little bit, but see, Baker's kind of likable too because his commercials are very
oh
funny.
yeah, I think
I love
and-
that guy's commercials.
Well, if you notice, I know that you said that Tom Brady wasn't in a lot of commercials, but now I can't stop seeing him on my TV.
Right.
He's in so many
Yeah.
commercials right now
He's
because
in more than he was.
Bill
because
Belichick
wouldn't let him
said,
do it.
Bill wouldn't let him do commercials, and now he is. I love seeing Tom Brady. It's so funny the way that it worked out. You are absolutely right about that, that Baker's more likable because of his commercials. And Tom Brady, I'm like, I like this version of Tom
Yeah.
Brady.
Oh,
In
so
fact,
do I.
I love this version of Tom Brady. I think he's funny. I think he's a gamer on the field. If he was like this, I swear, if he was on anybody other than the Patriots and with Bill Belichick, and you got to see this version of Tom Brady, I swear he would be my favorite football player. I'm not even joking. I think if he was on any other team, because of his personality,
The Raiders?
we've seen that. No. God, no.
See, Kyle.
Yeah,
Except that
yeah,
one.
you're right. Except that one, but I won't do that. Like, no, but I think him stepping away from Bill has made him
Agreed.
so much
It's
likable.
freed him up so much.
So
you're
you're
making my
not
point.
wrong.
You're
I
making
am
my
making
point.
your point.
Well,
Do we need a villain? Yes.
And right now it's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
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 I don't disagree.
the Tom Brady thing, he was the villain for a year, just like they did with
several
with
years.
LeBron James
Yeah.
after the decision. Now LeBron James then took on the villain role and kind of embraced it for a few years, and
Yeah.
He didn't
played
like
it out.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, figured out that it was actually
The
a bad thing for
NFL
him. But
needs a villain team and a villain representative
Player.
because people you either watch them to root on them or you watch them to hate them.
Yeah, I think that's why people tune into the Cowboys.
Yep.
I think
Exactly, because they kind of
Yeah.
get 50% of both.
I used to be. It's so weird how what you've done to me, Dan, because I used to watch Cowboys games to hope they lose, and now I don't.
Because you
I
know
want
you-
the
yeah,
Cowboys.
I
to
want
win.
him to win because it screws with your conspiracy.
Yes, it does exactly. I have become such a active rooter for the Cowboys during games because I'm like, I watch this team right now specifically, and know we're shifting.
And
into
you're seeing it a little
more
bit
stuff.
different.
I see it
version
way
of the
different than
Cowboys,
you do.
though. Yeah,
Yes,
but
yeah.
You're seeing the version that complements what you're trying to prove, and it makes it hard to prove my point because everything's going their way right now. But
right.
if it was like what I've seen over the last 26 years, you would probably go,
No, but I understand this, and I think my point is, and why I keep like trying to turn this. I'm like, I see something different in this team. I've watched so many Cowboys games because the Cowboys team, even when I lived in Chicago, genuinely interested me because I know when I turned on ESPN the very next day, I would hear all about the Cowboys. It didn't matter where you live. The most important team in the NFL is the Cowboys.
Agreed.
And so
been that way for a long time.
Been that way forever.
Well, a long time.
Yeah. So that said, I would hope they lose because I'm like, I can't wait to see Bill Parcells complain about the Cowboys or name whatever coach. And now it's completely turned the tide now that they've become more likable with Dak and all of that. Anyway.
So segueing into the NFL.
Yeah.
The day of the backup quarterback on Sunday.
What the heck? So
that was so awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw this. There was a guy that put $1,000 that Mike White would be the leading passer this week amongst all NFL quarterbacks.
How much did he win?
Oh, I think it was like $460,000.
What?
Yeah, it was like a crazy ticket.
Is this a
that
buddy
he
of his or
turned in.
something?
What's that?
Was that a buddy?
I don't know.
Somebody had an inside track on something.
Yeah. So, and Adam says, do I think McCarthy should still have been fired? Yes. I still think that they are winning in spite of Mike McCarthy.
Yep.
The way that he manages football games is so just fraidy cat. It's fraidy cat football that can't manage a clock. Like, I think that this team is way more talented than who McCarthy is. Do I think he should have been fired? No. Do I think that they deserve a better coach? Yes. So
I think they need to get rid of him after
Yes.
this
They
season.
better because they're going to lose. They're going to if they lose Kellen Moore. It'll be another Sean Payton thing all over
they
again.
need to have Kellen Moore be the head coach of that football team. I just don't think Mark McCarthy is it.
Yeah, and I mean, what a surprise. I had some decent respect for him coming out of Green Bay.
Yeah.
But boy, my opinion has changed. Not that he's doing anything bad, but he's just not a good leader.
No, but he wasted years of Aaron Rodgers' prime.
Oh, yeah. No, he definitely.
Same how I feel about Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
What he did to Tony Romo. And Jason Witten.
Yeah, so I don't think Mike McCarthy is a good coach, and I don't think he fits in Dallas despite a 6-1 record.
So, Adam, I got this question for you. Does Mike
he
McCarthy...
won $658,000, by the way.
Huh?
D. Frank said that guy won $658,000.
Wow.
Yeah, on a $1,000 ticket.
Over $500,000.
So 658 to 1 odds.
That's crazy.
He had.
Dang.
Yeah, the highest. There had to be a friend or a family member or somebody that knew something. Had to be. Because you just don't go and like, I'm going to bet on the... I'm going to bet that Cooper Rush has 345 yards passing this week. I mean, just don't do that. And so, Adam, question: is Mike McCarthy going to be the death of the Dallas Cowboys this year? Yes or no?
No.
I
They're already winning in spite of it.
Yeah, but they haven't played against any really good coaches
If they get into a heat of a game and it comes down to coaching, I worry.
Although they did beat Belichick.
Lose. Yeah,
he did beat Belichick.
He did. I worry about it, but I think this team is so over the top talented on both sides of the ball. When you have Trayvon Diggs, you have a good defense, and you win even with a Cooper Rush football team. It shows how talented the people around Dak Prescott are and how talented this football team is. And I think, to me, and Dan, you're not going to like it, I think they are NFC Championship game lock. I think they are one of the two teams.
Why do you think I wouldn't like that?
Wait,
Because
this way?
because you don't want me to talk positively about them.
You can talk
because
positive all
it's
you want
negative.
to.
It's negatively.
It doesn't matter what you say or I say or anybody else says. What's going to happen in the end is something goofy's going to happen. I don't care what anybody says.
Something
Something
goofy,
goofy.
clowny is going to happen.
It's either
right.
going to be somebody's going to get hurt, somebody's going to have a positive COVID test and can't play.
Oh,
Referee's going to have to reach down and tie a shoe on an extra point, and he didn't see it.
Trips the kicker.
There's going to be a interference phantom call somewhere. There's going to be something goofy that's going to keep them out of it. I'm just telling you.
You think they're cursed?
Yes, and I will be happy as pig and slop if they make it to the NFC Championship game. I will be happy. That to me is progress.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen that in 26 years.
I mean,
26 years.
You've been waiting a long time.
They haven't even sniffed it.
What
in 26 years?
I'm not. But this is the first, to me, real team that the Cowboys have had in quite some time where I'm like, they can win the Super Bowl. They have not had a team like that as long as I can remember since I was but in 5th grade, it feels
there
like.
There were 2 seasons in the last 8.
Couple years that you think.
Well, Romo in 14 and when Dak's rookie year, they had.
That's probably true. In 14, they really did have a shot. Yeah.
That was the catch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they go and because of Jason Garrett's time management, they give the clock back to Aaron Rodgers with too much time on the clock, and they come back and kick a field goal and win the game. So,
man, you're awfully nice to Mike McCarthy. Adam, yeah, he says I think McCarthy has changed the tide, and then they seem to be not playing scared. I don't think it has anything to do with McCarthy.
They're not playing scared.
No, you're right. They're not.
They are very confident in what they're doing, and I think a lot of that. If Kellen Moore's changing the play calling, if he's actually making these play calls, because I think he is, then that's his style, and I think that has a lot to do with him. And then you got Dan Quinn on the defensive side, taking chances defensively with talent.
Yeah.
I don't think that Zeke gets talked about enough.
Did you see that third down play?
Yeah, it was amazing. The one that he ran through 2 defenders.
10 yards behind the
line. I
line.
told you that, like when we were in our text thread. I was like, wow.
That was the play of the game, in my opinion.
It was.
There
it changed.
Incredible runs.
Because they're kicking a field goal and tying the game up if they don't get that first down.
We went from last year where Zeke was the problem.
Did you
say
we?
fumbling? No.
You did say
I would never.
He said we.
I meant on this podcast.
He's already buried the
No. I would never.
Well,
I never. Hear
we
me
can
when I
play
said
it back.
I was saying we, as in a collective we.
Okay.
We're talking about last year.
Okay.
Zeke was the problem.
Yeah, I had 8
where
fumbles
he fumbled every game,
8 carries.
and they were every 8 carries. And to now, I'm like, he's top 3 running back right now in the league.
Yeah. And speaking of Diggs on the other side, last weekend did he have a pick?
No.
So that was the
He's
first,
still 1 per game though.
Week. Yeah, so there was the first week this season that he didn't.
That's insane.
Their first game this season, he didn't have a pick.
Yeah.
You know what?
You know why though, don't you? Because hardly nobody threw.
Nobody's throwing to him anymore.
Like, now what's what they used to do?
It's Trayvon. Yeah, it's Trayvon Island right now. Like
Deion had like 4 interceptions a year.
Revis Island back in the day. Like they're not going to throw to him anymore.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. They won't throw to him, which is good. You cut the field in half when that happens.
Yeah.
So defense is.
He is a shutdown corner.
He is fun to watch.
Yeah.
He is fun to watch.
Is he? He's a corner.
Yeah, he's a corner.
Yeah. I didn't know if he was coming up from safety.
He's in the secondary.
So to answer your question, D. Frank, how did I do in fantasy this week? I won again. With all, let's see, no, that was 2 weeks ago. So I actually trailed by like 27 points going into Monday night's game, and your Chiefs pull it out for me.
27.
Williams and Tyreek scored.
Yeah, Tyreek had
and
a good
I won
game.
by 13 points.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
I've won 2 games in a row for the first time in Adam and I's league. We're in a league.
Oh, who's ahead in that one?
I beat him last week, but I'm in 9th place. I saw somewhere that McCarthy came in and learned Kellen Moore's offense instead of trying to implement his own and have Dak relearn a new offense. He Like every good coach gets the blame and defers the credit. Just my
Sounds
observation.
like he's a fan of McCarthy a little.
Why? I don't understand.
Is there
some-
Like I get it because your Cowboys are doing good, but I don't think you would have said this last year even a little bit.
I know. I don't agree with that at all. Sorry, but I
Yeah.
don't agree with that assessment.
And I'm interested because in most like shows I listen to and stuff like that,
Nobody's on his.
nobody's
bandwagon.
on his
Yeah,
side. So I don't get it.
Yeah.
Except for, I feel like you got your Cowboys hat on a little too tight there, Adam. Maybe. But I respect your opinion.
So here, I'll ask this from Mr. Kosh before we move on to our next subject. Does he believe the Cowboys will be in the NFC Championship?
I think he does. But I do too.
And who do they play?
You think this year they're in the NFC
I think it's I think to me this year it's Cowboys Rams. I think it'll be Cowboys.
So do you hear what the Rams did today?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I was
Yes.
going to bring that up. Von
Yeah.
Miller, are you kidding me? Aaron Donald, Von Miller,
That's
and
ugly.
who's the other dude they got? I mean,
They got Jalen Ramsey
Jalen
too.
holy cow!
Yeah, that team is.
How do you play against
that I can't
team?
even make that trade in
In
Madden.
fantasy league.
In
Oh,
Madden,
Madden.
I can't make that. I can't make that trade.
Well, and Denver's paying his
Yeah,
contract.
it's
I mean, they,
$9 million.
and not
They got
to
fleeced.
mention, I love seeing. I love Matthew Stafford. I
Yeah.
always have.
Wow.
I love seeing him do good.
I love what he's doing with Cooper Kupp right now. Cooper Kupp has 890 yards this early in the season. They just have they eat breakfast together every morning apparently, and it shows. Like they are absolutely in sync.
Cooper Kupp's on my fantasy team.
Yeah, their offense right now is clicking, and their defense can't be stopped now with Von Miller.
Oh
Like-
gosh, that defense.
Or they can stop everybody.
and defense wins championships.
To me, the Rams are the best team in football.
I totally agree.
And I told you guys
It
at the
just
beginning of the
became-
year it would be Chiefs Rams in the Super Bowl, and now I'm thinking Rams are they're the team to
They don't
beat.
look like Chiefs are.
No, they look ugly.
They barely won that the other night.
I know, and they look like everybody on that team has the yips,
Yeah.
and I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't. Like I think there, and I think you alluded to it last week, Josh, that something going on in the locker room that is. Andy Reid looks out of sorts. Patrick looks out of sorts. Their interviews that they have, it just looks not good, and I don't know how to diagnose the Chiefs. My dad and we text throughout every single game, and we're just like, we're so frustrated because expectations are so high. But I also think the Chiefs were figured out.
Well, eventually,
Yeah,
if you
they
keep
got-
doing the same things over and over again, it's just the league's too smart.
Well,
Coaches are smart.
Yeah.
Technology helps. I mean, they're just you can't get away with stuff that long.
And Patrick's still trying to do too much.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
that's because you turn the ball over and the defense
Yeah.
isn't helping you.
yeah, exactly.
And there's like almost every series there's not necessarily a turnover, but there's a loose ball.
oh my gosh, there's close.
There's
to being
either a fumble or a turnover,
near turnover.
or near turnover. Almost every drive.
Yeah, it's not the same Kansas City Chiefs
Yeah.
football that I've
They're
been
not
used to
protecting
the
the
last
football.
3 years.
They are dropping balls.
Left
all
and
the
right.
time.
Yep.
I
know,
mean,
plays
and
get
Patrick
tipped.
isn't throwing well.
No.
I mean,
He's throwing
got-
behind people.
Yeah, his arm angle thing is still working. He still is a genius in how he can do it, but when it comes to where he's delivering, it is off. And then if it hits his dudes where it should, they don't catch it.
Agreed.
Okay, so one last thing in the NFL: Odell Beckham Jr.
I don't know
I'm confused.
what to think about this other than like, why is your dad making a highlight tape about
Yeah.
you being open?
Yeah,
I don't think he's good anymore.
yeah.
I just don't. I think he's
Is he low?
over the wrong side. He's like near 30.
Is he trying to think? Just throw the ball to me and I'll catch it. Kind of. You try and not get open. Just throw
Yeah,
me the
but
ball.
there was balls thrown to him last week that he
Just
dropped. Like, I don't get it. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
that situation, like I didn't know there was a problem, so to speak, with Beckham and
Mayfield,
anyone in
yeah,
the Browns,
right.
but especially Beckham and Mayfield, until all of a sudden, the dad puts this thing out and says, my boy's open all the time and never gets thrown to because Baker Mayfield doesn't like him. And then all of a sudden,
That's
he's
probably
getting
true.
told to go home. And then there was a press conference, and with Baker Mayfield was in it, and they were asking questions about not distributing it to Odell Beckham. And Baker couldn't answer the question, or wouldn't.
Probably wouldn't.
No, probably wouldn't.
He kind of hemmed and hawed, which said to me, holy cow, he's really not throwing it to him. Like, there's some validity to this.
There might be, but I don't know.
It
Baker
is weird.
doesn't seem like the guy to do that though.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Baker's will to win though
I don't
to
know.
me doesn't seem like I'm gonna leave this guy
I
out.
don't know.
Now, he did say, though, he openly said, and I don't know if this was a slip or what, but he said something about plays and him not being the first look on a bunch of plays.
That's
like,
interesting.
Like Beckham's the second or third look,
Huh.
and that kind of interested me a little bit.
Interesting.
That's by
Yeah.
design.
Now, granted, you got Jarvis on the other side. It's pretty.
Yeah,
But-
I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled on that story. I think it's interesting.
Well, and I heard them talking today, and I will listen to several talk shows, especially on Wednesday, so I can kind of have ideas of what we're going to talk about tonight. But somebody said, look, the Browns are willing to keep him on the roster, eat up a slot on the roster, and pay him what he's due, rather than release him and still have to pay what he's due and him play for another team.
Yep.
And watch him catch balls for another team
I
in a
heard the
different
same
uniform.
thing.
So maybe the talent's there. Maybe it's I don't know.
It's just a locker room issue.
It could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
But
that's so
he's kind of like
weird
T.O., though. T.O. kind of outstayed his welcome everywhere he
I
was.
I understand that, but T.O. had a national spotlight on him. Not that Odell doesn't, but the microphone was handed to T.O.
Yeah.
almost on a weekly
Yeah.
basis. Odell doesn't have that.
Yeah.
The catch changed his whole career. I don't know. I think those are two different stories in my opinion.
Are you talking about the catch against the Cowboys on Monday night?
Yeah.
You know, by the way, that wasn't interference.
No.
He never touched him.
No.
But because
But it was still unreal.
It was unreal catch, but it's
Yeah.
like they threw the flag just because he jumped up and turned around in
Yeah.
a circle thinking that the Cowboys interfered with him, which he didn't. Which doesn't really matter, but it irritates me that the flag got thrown on that.
Mhm.
Still a good play.
Wham.
Okay, well, I think that's kind of our show, other than our picks.
Yeah,
So-
we took the whole hour up right now.
We did,
But
so
we'll go through the picks
Yeah,
pretty
we
quick.
can skip the results.
Yeah, I'm
Let's just go to those
I'm
picks.
sure you would like that.
Oh man, what a week! This is the first losing week I've had this season, and I lost bad.
I think that's the first losing week in the history of this show
For everybody?
for everybody.
I lost bad.
I just want to throw that out there.
Well, D. Frank was
Probably.
5
Oh
and
yeah,
5.
T. Frank, right? Yeah,
He's 5 and 5.
Yeah.
But no, I'll roll these quickly. So, Casey, you missed Michigan. You missed Ole Miss. You missed the Cards. You missed the Rams.
Did I go 5
You were
and
6
5?
and 4.
So I'll take 6 and 4.
You were
I'll
6
take
and
it.
4.
You were 6 and
You
4.
missed 4 games.
Okay, I'll take it though.
You were 6 and 4, which makes you overall 46 and 34. Gunslinger, you missed Michigan, Ole Miss, SMU, Cards, Cleveland, Lions. You were 4 and 6.
Yep.
D. Frank missed Michigan, Texas, Cardinals, Browns, Lions. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, wait a minute. 1, 2. Yeah, 5 and 5. And then Adam picked last week. He missed Ole Miss, SMU, Cards, Browns, Lions, Giants. He was 4 and 6. And then Coach here missed Michigan, Ole Miss, SMU, Lions, Cowboys, I was 5-5.
Oh, I was the big dog this week then.
You were
by one game.
By one game. You gained a game. You're
Let's go. I'm back in it.
And so Gunslinger is 51-30. That's not right. Something's off. I'm sorry, 52-30.
We're doing a Mike Francesa right now.
That's still
Just
not
doing
right.
math on TV.
Yeah.
34.
We had an
4
extra.
and 6. Somewhere I missed it. I'll have to go back and re-add them. And I'm 49-32, but I think 50.
Yeah, that doesn't add up either.
Yeah, so you missed 6 games. Well, we've had 90 games, 80 games. So you would be 50 and 30.
There was a week we had an extra one though. We had 11 games.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but see, they don't add up. That's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
they don't match
Yeah,
up.
they
I'll
don't.
go back and re-add them. Anyway,
Yeah.
looks like there's you still have a 2-game lead over me, Gunslinger, and a 4-game lead on Kyle on KC. Okay,
This week is tough.
I'll go back and recheck. All right, here we go. So for the picks for, I don't know, week 8 or 9, whatever this week
9.
is, not week 9.
Week 9
Something like
for
that.
our picks. Yeah.
All right, Tennessee at Kentucky. Vols at Kentucky.
I'm going Kentucky.
Okay.
I second that motion.
Okay, I will agree. I'll concur. Mississippi State at Arkansas.
We'll go Mississippi State.
Ooh.
I am taking Arkansas.
I'm going to go with Mississippi State.
All right.
Auburn at Texas A&M. This is a battle of the 6 and 2 teams, by the way.
I don't
Yeah.
know about this one. This isn't toughy.
Yeah, this one I took A&M.
I did too.
I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Texas A&M.
Okay.
Each week, by the way, I'm now making one game in college and one game in the pros in the NFL a upset alert game.
Oh.
It's noted by a highlight, and this next game you're going to call is my upset alert game.
Wake Forest at North Carolina.
Ooh. I'm gonna go North Carolina.
See, and I want to go Carolina, but I took Wake Forest, and that I think it's going to go the other way.
I'm going Carolina. I think Mac Brown has a trick or two up his sleeve left.
I agree.
Give me North Carolina.
Oh, he
I got to
changed
go
it.
with my gut.
He changed it.
Oh, I hate that
Wow.
I did this.
Wow.
No conviction there.
Ugh.
Let's see. We got Adam and we got D. Frank. Okay. So if you could feed me some of the wins on those others, so I don't have to turn my head around and look.
We can't see. So
You can't?
North Carolina. But your comments will still be there after the show too. So A&M, Auburn.
Hold on. Tell me who they are.
Oh, Derek
Frank.
D. Frank's got Texas A&M.
Hold on. A&M. Okay.
Yep. Kosh has got Auburn.
Auburn.
Yep.
Don't move columns. There you go.
Okay.
And then I can't see the rest. Derek's got Arkansas. So does Adam.
And then Tennessee and
D. Frank's got Kentucky. I think Adam's got Kentucky too.
all right. And then Oklahoma State at West Virginia.
Pokes all the way.
Yep, I'm going for the orange.
Did we get a pick on North Carolina yet? We
Yeah,
haven't.
they both picked Carolina, I
Okay.
believe.
All right. So everybody going OSU?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I will go with OSU.
I think you can scroll back down now so we can. That's it.
Well, you got to hit the little button thing or whatever.
Yeah, there you go. D. Frank's got North Carolina. Yep. So does Adam. Adam's got Pokes. So does Derek.
Okay. So unanimous on OSU. Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Browns at Cincinnati Bengals. This is a tough one.
Bounce back game for the Bengals.
Bengals.
Yeah, I got the Bengals.
Cincinnati.
Cleveland, though, is still the number 1 rushing team in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And number 6 defense in the NFL, which that kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Number 6. Anyway.
Adam's going Cleveland.
Cleveland. Okay, Cleveland. And
D. Frank's going with the Browns, too.
Cleveland. This is tough.
I'm
I'm going to go with Cincinnati.
All right.
All right.
New England,
Yeah,
Carolina.
New England at Carolina.
This is a tough one.
Wait, what?
It's a tough one.
I'm going to go with New England. Is it that tough? I think the Patriots on a roll.
I think Carolina's sinking fast.
Yeah, they are big time.
Yeah, I'm taking New England.
So unanimous there.
Okay, everybody else New England?
Yep.
Okay. And then Packers at the Aaron Rodgers-less Packers. I'm sorry, Packers, Aaron Rodgers-less Packers at KC.
So that game was at -1 in favor of the Chiefs because it was at home, which one
with Aaron Rodgers?
didn't make sense to me at all. Yes. And now the Chiefs are favored 7.5 points. I'm
What?
going with the Chiefs.
Wow, by
Yep.
7.5.
Switch.
Yep, I'm going with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I've got the chefs as well, but I do have this one on upset alert, even though old AA Ron is not playing. We get to see theoretically Jordan Love, but Blake Bortles is on his way to.
I think they'll take Jordan Love. That's what my brother-in-law, who's a huge Packers fan, is like, I'm interested to see how Jordan Love does, which is the bright side there for Green Bay fans.
Who are you taking Gunslinger?
Casey.
Okay. And then KC Franklin.
What'd you go with?
Adam. I went with KC.
Is it a unanimous?
Yep. I
We're
don't
waiting
see
for
Adams yet. Okay. Arizona at San Francisco.
Just spilled on myself on live stream.
on live TV.
Yes. What'd you say?
Arizona at San Francisco.
Arizona at San Francisco. Let's go with Arizona.
I'm going to go with Arizona.
See, I'm worried about Kyler and his ankle.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Ooh. They're still favored, though. Arizona is.
Yeah. I'll go with them. They're my team. I switched. San Francisco I had circled originally, but I didn't get to do as much research as normal.
The final game and probably the dud of the week, but I just felt like I had to put it in there. Houston Texans at Miami Dolphins.
Barf.
The battle of the beatens.
Barf.
Yeah. They've each won one.
Dolphins for me.
Yeah, I took the Dolphins
Yeah,
as well.
I agree.
I mean,
concur.
By the way, Miami has the worst defense in the NFL. But Houston has the number 30 defense in the NFL. So the little ranking systems, the higher you are, the longer the bar graph is. So you want to be far away from the middle because that means you're high up. This sucker on the little bar graph, Houston against Miami, they are both sucked up against each other in the middle.
Yikes.
They're both just so terrible.
They're so bad.
Okay, that does it for the week. Kyle, do you have a devotion you could pull up?
I could figure something out. Yeah.
Just
tell people where.
Yep, I'm going to take care of that while you're looking that up. So if you're joining us for the first time, this is Faithletic, the podcast. We are an independent podcast.
You got one?
That broadcast every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. If you are interested in some of our past shows, you can either scroll through Faithletic, the podcast, on our Facebook page if you're listening to us live. All of our former episodes are down there somewhere because if it's on the internet, it never goes away, right?
Yep. That's true.
And then part 2 of that is we also have our own YouTube channel.
Ew.
which if you type in on the YouTube search bar Faithletic, it'll pop up. Hit the subscribe button and the little bell, and every time we have a new episode posted, it will alert you.
Alert.
Yep. We have all of Season 3's episodes posted except for last week. There's 8 previously. And then most of Season 1 and a portion of Season 2, because I got behind and just never got caught up again on Season 2. But I think there's over 50 episodes recorded on YouTube, so I encourage you to go check out our YouTube channel, Faithletic. And we are brought to you by Team Black Mentorship. And I just want to say as a little teaser, in the next few weeks, I'm going to have an incredible announcement to make.
Yes.
Incredible announcement.
What?
Team Black Mentorship is up to something.
We got something going.
Yes.
Something
No way.
Really,
Yeah, yeah.
really,
You didn't even tell me.
I will when we get off air.
Okay.
Because
Oh,
I don't.
it's good.
Yeah,
It's
really
good.
Well, that's different than what.
Oh, you've
This
got
is way
another
different,
something?
yeah.
Wow.
There's 2 things.
Ooh,
One of you
jeez.
might be kind of interested in because it has something to do with your hometown.
What?
Yeah, anyway.
No, we'll get
Too
to
many
it.
clues. Too
All
many
right.
clues.
What?
All right.
I'm kind of excited. Let's end the show now.
Yeah.
All right. So you're doing.
Josh has got it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
all right,
it
so
was-
this is,
it was my turn anyway.
Okay.
So.
And so this is this is our devotion. So one of the things I didn't include when I was talking about our show is our name Faithletic incorporates athletics or sports and faith. And we always want to finish out the show with some inspiring words from the gospel. And so today, the gunslinger gets the nod. You're the starting QB. Go.
All right. Well, this devotional comes right out of the Bible app.
It's called Daily at the Cross, by the way.
Yes, not this devotion, but our thing is. Yeah. Anyway, this devotion is called The Power of Zero. It starts, perhaps you are in a very stressful time in your life right now, and you feel you can't go on. I want you to know that you are not alone. In fact, some of the greatest men and women of God have gone through what you are going through right now. One of those individuals is the prophet Elijah. After a great spiritual victory over the priests of Baal, is that how you say it? B-A-A-L? Baal?
Wow.
Bail.
Baal?
Bail.
So, after a great spiritual victory over the priests of Baal, we find him on the run, wondering whether life is even worth it. We catch the story in 1 Kings 19:4 through 6. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a broom tree. And he prayed that he might die, and said, "It is enough. Now, Lord, take my life, for I am no better than my fathers." Then as he lay and slept under a broom tree, suddenly an angel touched him and said to him, "Arise and eat." Then he looked, and there by his head was a cake baked on coals and a jar of water. So he ate and drank and lay down again. Elijah had reached that zero place in his life. There was nothing left. He had given it all, and the tank was empty. Maybe that describes you right now. You are on the verge of quitting. You figure, I've had enough. I'm done. Enough pressures, enough hassles. I cannot ride this thing out anymore. My strength is gone. Well, did you notice that when Elijah was at the end of his strength, that was when God intervened? Being out of strength, being at zero, is not necessarily a bad place to be. If you will look to God, He is prepared to meet you in your moment of need. He is prepared to meet you anywhere, where you are. That is our devotion for today.
Hey,
The
good
power
stuff.
of zero.
I
Thank
like
you.
that. I like that a lot.
That was this episode of Daily at the Cross. So, thank you, Gunslinger, for those words. Any closing comments before we finish out? Anybody? Anything else you want to
Hey,
say?
can you pick some easier games next week?
No. That's what makes it interesting.
Yes.
Might even go Division 2.
Oh, I tell you what. Oh my God.
Give me some Northwest Missouri State action. Yeah.
I am bummed that we're not going to see Aaron Rodgers play. Not because I love Aaron Rodgers, but because I wanted to see that matchup. The
Yeah.
Chiefs against the.
Remember that old SNL skit as Chris Farley as General Schwarzkopf saying, "I want Holyfield. Give me Holyfield." I wanted that. I wanted Holyfield. Give me Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Even if we were going to lose,
Yeah.
I was okay. I wanted to see Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
on the field. But
Yep.
You gots to know.
you got to know.
You gots to know.
Not going to happen.
Yep.
All right. This has been our show for tonight. I am Coach, and I'm with
Casey.
and
The Gunslinger.
we are Faithletic, the podcast. Have a good night, everyone.
See y'all.
Remember, God loves you, and so do we.